This conference will now be recorded.
Is there anyone here for public comment?
I am. My name's Tom McClure. In Butler Park, in the circle walk around in the brickwork, is a water shut off sticking up about 3/4 of an inch. And I was at a concert there last week, and kids running around. Luckily, they didn't trip on that. Something should be done to that. And I also heard that we're thinking about doing a park over across the river. I think before we build anything else for us to take care of, we should start taking care of what we have now. And the brickwork in the park, also where the granite benches are, they're sinking down in and tipping the bricks. The walkway in front of the old firehouse on Central Street it's kind of caved in on one side. I think money would be better spent tearing that. It's gonna have to be taken out and rebuilt underneath it so that they're level. Because right now there's a gap probably in some places maybe 1.5 to 2 inches, where in the wintertime I would imagine it would ice up. And also on Main Street, I think I mentioned it once before, the grass growing around, like around the trees and sidewalks. I don't know why we don't take better care of what we have. Instead of thinking about building something that we are gonna have to maintain, and we don't maintain now.
Dennis, you're up.
Dennis Jayden Erosion. I come to you guys tonight with some quotes for a sander for a 1-ton truck.
How do you say?
Um,
Please give us.
it'd be beneficial for us to have that for these parking lots and everything else we have to get in and out of. Instead of trying to put a 10-wheeler down, just like this parking lot the other day when there's people in here and whatnot. Had it on a 1-ton truck, we can sneak in, sneak out. It's the ones we're looking at do electric drives. That's the new wave of the future. So the gas operated ones, which are 1 speed and just for everything, so we can contain it, but we have to control for solid thing. The price is, the cheapest is $1,500 for stainless steel, dual drive, 3/4 horsepower, 1/2 horsepower motors. I think it just makes that truck more valuable instead of having it just with a dead split box in the back going.
Which truck you put it on?
The Green GMC.
Oh. I thought you were still talking.
I was.
Okay.
You'll see the prices there. One that I highlighted, the one from Madigan was $6,500 for a stainless steel dual electric. The one from Fairfield for the same one is $59.95, and we have one from Sanels for $58.34.40 for the same identical spreader.
I was looking at the 23,000.
No, that's just a rounded up quote. Sorry about that. I think it'd be a lot more beneficial, especially these small cars, because that we have about 5 to 10 wheelers or a 6-wheeler. Just going to a little spot of ice here and there, some places sometimes. I have nothing to put first budget line.
So it says the total is 23,571,600.
That's just how they did the
That's the
quote.
3 to 4 different
That's four
standards.
So we're buying all 4 of these?
No, this is the one that is highlighted, or has
The
a bracket around it. I
Okay,
didn't
so
have a
that's,
highlighter.
that's 6,077.
No, that's fine. 5,834.
5834,
Yeah.
okay. So what are we buying, multiple of these?
No, just one. It's just the way they did the quotation.
So I don't understand. It's 5834 here, but it's 23,571.
Because the quote tallies all the totals together.
Oh, okay,
So they don't have, they don't have a better system of doing that,
okay,
unless you want 4 different pieces of paper with 4 different numbers
Okay.
on it.
so it's only 5834.
Yeah.
Do we have a budget for this?
Yes, I have money in the equipment.
How much do we budget for this? Or do we budget for this particular piece of equipment?
Usually just
Oh, it's
budget
just,
equipment.
oh, so we just have a money for equipment, and it's not budgeted for anything in particular?
Right, it could be tools or a bucket or things like that that tend to break
Okay.
sometimes.
And you're replacing one?
We've never had them this small.
So are you recommending the 5834?
That's what I'm
That's the
recommending,
one
yeah.
you want?
Bought in town, we've had good luck with them for getting parts and pieces for other sanders, so they've been the cheapest price for everything.
Who's that from?
That's an else,
Oh,
from buyers. We bought chains for bigger sanders from them and it's been the cheapest price.
When would we get this?
It would be about a 2-week lead time, hopefully before winter.
two electric motors?
Yeah, one for the chain drive, one for the auto drive.
So it's different.
Yeah, it's a little bit more advanced. They've got them now, so you can dial your chain speed in and dial your auger speed in, so you're not wasting too much
Yeah.
material like the old gas ones, you fire them up and it just.
Oh, no,
Like
no,
one
no,
for one.
I agree with you. I'm all for the electric. It's great.
Yeah, they got a dual drive now, so it's,
Dual drive. Mine's all one drive. It's, you can control both.
Yeah.
But it's only out for one motor.
yeah,
They've gone to two motors.
2 motors now to ease up the voltage drop and
Yeah.
things like that.
Now, does this have its own dedicated battery?
It runs
Does it run off the truck?
Runs off the truck, which is, it's a little more convenient that way, as long as the truck's running, it's running, you go, be out in the middle of the night, 2 o'clock in the morning, and it runs out of gas, you gotta get out and climb on top of the sander truck, fill full of gas. Gas cans empty, no gas, all the fuel stations are shut down, now the sander's inoperable for this evening, at least this way it's always available.
And it's not gonna put stress on the electrical system of the.
Nope.
I have on my truck. It's
Electrical?
not
Electric?
dual motor, electric sander, and I absolutely love it. And I agree with everything you said about if you go from the gas sander to electric, you don't have to worry about it.
Yeah.
You know, that's really good luck with it.
So like I said, it'd be very valuable for the parking lots and places like
Well,
that. To trying to jam these 10-wheelers or 6-wheelers in here, and there's times the PD's busy, you can barely get into a 10-wheeler, and it's inconvenient for us.
Does it come with a warranty?
I believe it's like a 1 or 2 year warranty on it. I think it's like 1 year on the motors and then 2 years on the structural part of it. I mean, it's stainless steel, like every other sander we run, they're
Yep.
pretty much bulletproof.
Hit trees.
We do
You know
ourselves
that.
as well, so.
No, it is.
Just out of curiosity, did you get multiple quotes for this? Did you just go to the same company?
No,
No,
we
I've
got-
got Fairfield, I've got
There's
JC
three
Madigan.
Oh,
different
okay, I didn't go beyond the first page.
That's the identical sander there on that
Okay,
one.
good,
That's an airflow.
super.
Oh, yeah.
Make a motion to purchase the Salt Dog 2.0 cylinder spreader Napa Auto Parts for $5,834.40. Second,
I'll second it.
favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
I make a motion to accept the minutes of the meeting of August 12th. Do I have a second? Oh, I'm sorry. You have more? Oh, in hand position. Sorry,
Yeah.
didn't see that.
Now, I'm not bringing the paperwork with that, but I do believe there's a policy that was made that required us to have a limit for every operator, if there was a seat available. Right now, I've talked to a few of the women that were previously working with us, and they're older and they don't want to do it anymore, and I can't blame them one bit. The trucks now are designed to be operated by one person, with a controller setup and with a gadget design. I'd like to make that policy so it's an option for wingmen if they think they need a wingman, they can have one. But if there's no need of a wingman, they don't need to have one. There's been times in the past where they've been waiting for women to go up, start plowing, and it takes time, it takes tough resources. It can be very inconvenient when you've already got half your route done and the other guy hasn't shop yet. You know, so
What do the wingmen do?
pretty much sit there and try to play hands with the other guy when they're trying to run the truck and they get mad and they start swatting at each other and they tell stories and then they fall asleep and they might wake back up.
So there's no controls on their side?
No, it's all central controls now. The way that the truck's being built is because of the way people, workforces and whatnot. They're designed for just the truck driver themselves to be control the whole truck themselves. It's not gonna take any longer to do our routes. It's not gonna take any more materials. It's just taking a person out that a lot of times does nothing and just sits there for up to 20 hours a day, if not more during storms. And like I said, we're getting less and less people interested in doing that job. So if it's something we can make so it's an option instead of being an enforced thing.
I think, and I think it was an option when Billy was here,
It
if I
was.
remember correctly.
I think it came into a policy, I don't have the paperwork for me, but it became a policy a few years back.
Right, right.
And I'd like to either just rescind the policy completely, so if they want to have an option to have a wingman, they can, or re-verbiage the policy so it doesn't force people to have a wingman.
I think I remember the policy being, put in place more for safety, to have an extra person in there, and you don't use it on little storms, you only use it on big storms. It's not every storm.
No, and
Yeah.
even the big storms, I mean,
Yeah.
it's more of an inconvenience for safety because usually they're trying to grab a lever or do something else when the other guy's trying to do something else, and it doesn't work out right for the truck. Or they're trying to pull over on the side of the road and have a nap and turn around someplace and the other guy's not tired, so they're talking, so now the driver's not getting a chance to have a nap or a break real quick.
It sounds like this guy's useless.
For the
I mean,
most part,
that's what I'm hearing.
Nowadays, yes, I mean, back in the day, we were plowing with 4 trucks and you had the old cable systems and they had their own controls and yes, they had a purpose. Now everything's hydraulic or aero hydraulic. And
So before, the wingman had a purpose that they controlled some of the plows on the truck,
they were set in different positions of the truck, yes.
on the right-hand side, I'm
Yep,
assuming.
in the passenger area of the vehicle.
And now, everything is controlled by the driver.
And now everything's on a pedestal that sits right next to you, right here. You can run every level you want.
So why would we even retain the position?
Some people that do the further runs, like out East Washington Loop and whatnot, it's not bad to have an extra set of hands at the time in case, they lose a tire chain or break a cable on a wing. They can have a can't get back, or they can't reach out to anybody else to get hold of them.
Okay,
Some people like to have it, the trucks that run in town that run hydraulic wings, hydraulic plows, those all, you can't chain them back up, unless you have a backhoe with you. Or another piece of iron to pick it up and chain it up, so you have to make sure you hold them anyway, so usually, if something happens and malfunctions, you have to drive it back no matter what. Down, so it's not. Having a second person in the cab of those truck is not really warranted.
but in the long runs, it could be helpful, is what I'm just hearing.
Yeah, that's it, I want to make it an option, if we like, say, the individual runs out, up
With Washington.
towards Washington, that loop out there, if they want to have one, they can have one. I don't want to limit to them not having a wingman, if they're somewhat useful and helpful, and they want one, they can have one, but they don't want to have one, I want to have it. So they're forced to have one stuck behind, waiting for them to show up because they decided to go to Manchester in a snowstorm.
Make a motion to make it optional.
To make it to the discretion
Of the driver.
of the driver, if they would like one.
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to leave it to the, if the driver
Yeah.
wants one, he can have one. I
Yeah,
don't
I
wanna make
don't
it
want
so
to
that
force
he-
them, they can't have one.
Right.
Right.
I know, like I said, we've had a problem getting people to come in and do them in a lot of
Right.
places. We don't need a wingman, so if the driver believes they need a wingman for the group, then they can have one.
Make a motion to let, have women as optional, the drivers.
Send me
It's-
Well, I mean, you're amending it.
We're amending it.
amending it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're amending
Yeah,
it,
it's
make
just
it at
an
the driver's
At the driver's discretion.
discretion. That's the word I was looking
Request to commit.
Yeah.
Second it.
for. All in favor?
Aye.
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 That's it.
Okay.
I'm done now.
I'm sorry, I did not,
Yeah.
I'm
Give it to two.
ready to
not
go.
bad.
I'm ready to go. I make a motion to accept the minutes of August 12th. Second,
I second it.
all in favor?
Aye.
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 I make a motion to accept the minutes, the meeting minutes of July. What's the August 22nd? No, it's like, oh, that's right.
Those are the ones.
Okay, of July 22nd, do I have a second?
Second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
It's all on the tree.
I make a motion to authorize the selectmen to sign the manifest of August 26th. Do I have a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Make a motion to approve the consent agenda for August 26, 2026. Do I have a second?
Second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Let's do that for a second.
There's the second,
It's
that's
a
the
copy.
second page.
Okay. So the same.
Yeah. It's a little thing.
I'm not gonna get in there. Big building safety upgrades.
So, for the last few years, at least, if not prior to that, when I started kind of nagging about this building and safety concerns with regard to, the employees being able to get out of this building if we had some kind of emergency. Most importantly, an active shooter is one of the things we've spoken about. We have a lot of people, and more so now, we found a lot changed during COVID. And I know everyone hates bringing up the C word, but people are less patient. There are things, and the town clerk tax collector's office really takes the brunt of it. And then I come out, diffuse the situation. There are things that they can't do that people have to go to the state for, and just something like that will just trigger people into being pretty angry. So we've talked about different ways to make this safe. For example, if we had an active shooter walk in this door, all they need to do, round in a circle, nobody over here can get out. Nobody in the town clerk tax collector can get out, because we all have to come out to the center room to exit the building. One of the things that happened last year is the building inspector was assaulted. About that. Somebody was yelling at Debbie, swearing at Debbie. Mike came down, told him he had to leave, got him out of the building. He assaulted Mike in the front. We need to do something about that, which I've spoken to the board about. And what you have in front of you is Mike met with Farehand, Milestone, and JBR. Talk to them about changes in this building. Very simple changes. What we want to do is over here where this wall is, you have a drawing there. Extend the wall into an L. That will create an area for the public to come in, a lobby area. We'll have 2 windows service for town clerk tax collector, 1 window for everyone else. The desks will be out here. Town clerk tax collector office. That bathroom will get moved to this welfare office right now, so that town clerk tax collector office has ample area. There will be a door between their office and this section here, which will now become an office for the assessor, building secretary, assessing assistant. The public won't have access to this area unless they're invited in. This office will be moving the conference table out of my office and making a conference room, so that if anyone had to meet with someone privately, they could be invited in and meet them there. So that would mean that we would have a door going out to the parking lot from town clerk tax collector office. So that's on that outside wall. We would have 2 new doors, these 2 exit doors, just because they need to be replaced now. This area sectioned off, a door going into the town clerk tax collector office, because there's different statutory requirements on locking that office up where no one has access outside of business hours. We will be able to, so that will be a bathroom and storage in that room, where the welfare office is, and the upstairs will stay the same. This creates the safety. We aren't reinforcing walls with concrete. That would be a lot more money, but it didn't, you know, we've talked about a town office complex with police and fire all on associated electric property in the past, but realistically, I mean, that's so far down the road, and I think it would be, if something happened here, and I use active shooter as an example, because we all know that things like that can happen. We hope that it would never happen in Holmesboro, but it could be even a fire that we can't get out from these areas. And upstairs, there's a fire escape out back. We even talked about maybe putting fire escapes in the window. But this creates that barrier between the public and the employees. We've had members of the public walk in and they can't believe they can just walk in and have access, the kind of access they have to the employees. So you also have JBR sent their pricing in, you have that. We'll discuss.
You're gonna construct a new bathroom in the town clerk's office?
No.
No,
This
welfare office. We're just moving it.
Oh, so it's gonna be over there, so that town clerk's office wouldn't have the bathroom in it like it's strong here.
Right.
Right,
No,
I didn't have them draw new things.
yeah,
Initially, we were going to just turn the bathroom and lose this little kitchenette. But the way we have it, that way the kitchenette can stay there, we can move the bathroom over here. That space would go for town clerk tax collector. Because all the plumbing is over here anyway.
I like the idea of this door opens out instead of the door right now opening in.
Yeah.
That uses a lot of space.
And, you know, we needed enough space in the lobby area with these service windows, because, I mean, we sometimes have 2 or 3 people deep here, but at the end of the month and beginning of the month, they could have a line, especially if only one of them is.
It doesn't need to, no.
This was put into the buildings capital reserve fund during budget season. There's 211,000 in there. This, with plumbing and electrical on top of this, we're probably looking at a total of 65 to 70,000. He caps that at 65,000, but it's not going to take much to move the plumbing and we'll have to put electrical outlets, probably coming up from the basement into the floor. Not flush with the floor, but
yeah, but this price doesn't include any electrical or plumbing, so it's in
Right.
addition to the 65.
right. But Mike already spoke to the electrician and plumber, and we're probably looking totals with both of them, maybe 5,000. And not quite. Plus the ran into a problem. So this would mean, as we talked about during the budget season, meetings would take place probably at the fire station moving forward.
I have a question. Don't we have a policy, or should we have a policy that would require multiple bids on something this big? I mean, right now we have a price from this company. That's it. I would think that we would want to put this out to bid so that multiple companies can bid on it, so we can look at all of it. I mean, just having one, I just, especially for such a large project, I would think that we would look to have multiple, at least 3 bids before we make a decision on who we're gonna.
So, and that's why we had 3 companies look at it, and the board, if we want to put out a formal bid, it's really not a big project. it's expensive to do work. And,
I understand that.
the other two companies, they would be able to do it. And I don't think it's inviting for companies who are busy like that, but we could certainly put it out and see if we get more.
The three of us, I mean, we gotta look out for, I mean, we're all here. to
Oh,
look out for
I'm
the
not
town.
arguing, I'm saying
Okay.
that if you want
I
to do
think
it,
we should-
absolutely.
I think we should do that before we vote on this. I understand that we need it. I'm not objecting to that. I just think, I mean, that we should have multiple bids to look at before we make a decision.
You said Mike had, what, 3 companies come in and look at it?
Yes, Milestone, Bearhand.
And he gave them this?
JBR, yeah.
Did he
Actually,
ask
I
them
think
for quotes?
Milestone was the one who drew those.
But they didn't,
Yeah,
they didn't bid?
They didn't have.
Either
Did
one
we
pull that
solicit a bid
together.
or they just weren't interested?
Yeah. It wasn't posted, we solicited it through quotes. We can post it if the board wants. That's not a problem.
I think we should.
I mean, could have up, I thought, well, I happened to see Mike and he mentioned it to me, that he asked 3 companies and this is the only company that came back price. It's not that, they didn't have, for the timeline that they wanted done. So I don't know, I mean, we can ask for more bids, that's not a problem, but Mike did
Yeah, specific
2 other
companies.
companies, and
But usually-
they didn't wanna,
I
they didn't
get
have
that,
time to do it, so.
I get that, but there are more than 3 companies out there that do this type of work, I'm sure. If not, I mean,
There
yeah,
are, but
I would think with that, I
Yeah.
mean, I would think that's what we'd wanna do.
You wanna put it off for, what, 2 weeks?
However, how long does it, how long does it normally take? How long do we give companies if we post it? How long do we normally,
So if we are posting it and we usually do, and when we're looking at doing the project, 2 to 3 weeks. And
okay,
then, because you get an idea within 2 weeks whether or not people are gonna, if you put it out longer than that and you still don't have anyone, it's not,
you just,
yeah.
yeah, I get it, 2, 3 weeks is fine.
That would put us either at the second meeting of September.
Yeah, that's reasonable.
The other thing, question I have, do we have we talked to the tax collector, to find out if this is sufficient space for them? And do we need the biggest space for the public? I know it looks like there's 3 windows there, so 2 windows.
Two
would be
windows
for
in
the-
the town clerk tax collector, one window.
One for the,
The rest.
yeah, coming in this way.
So it's a
Yeah,
probably about 40, I think 46 square feet smaller than what is in there right now, but there is a lot of space that is, there are things that are not needed.
I don't know, there's a lot of
I mean, there's a
file
lot
cabinets
of-
and stuff, and I don't
yeah.
know,
Or,
I'm just,
yeah,
So the only other thing you could do is move
What?
the wall to the other side of the window. That would give them another,
well, whatever this space is, yeah, I would think that we could gain a couple of feet that way, the public space,
and it would be smaller.
yeah. For, I'd say the public space is big,
I think if you look in that, I mean, we spoke to Debbie about what we were proposing.
Yep.
She was here when the companies came in and looked at it and was front row when it was being discussed. I think that if you look in that office right now, you can see where some space could be saved. And, I think that if we make the public area too small, in the really busy times, it's gonna be crowded. Because if you look at the space that's there right now, it's really not that big.
Is the public space is bigger than the space they have here as the town clerk's office. That's all, I'm just,
Well, there,
you know,
so, but if you, what I'm saying is if you look right here, so sometimes they have a line that comes out to the end of
right, on the,
this.
yeah,
But as Ira said, if you want to gain a little bit more space, we can
Move
do it
it
on
to
the
the
other
other
side of
side
that
of the window.
window.
well, right, this just
Well,
push
that would
everything
move
that
that
way.
way and then you do it at the window.
Yeah, whatever this is.
Because right now, this space is 238 square feet. And this one is 179.
Yeah,
She has 239 right now.
Right, so she comes in around 180 something.
But it would be, there's probably things in that office that don't need to be in that office at the moment, you know.
and I don't know, you know, what the timeline is, you know, what is involved with, you know, computers, telephones, and everything else that to limit the disruption of the,
Yeah,
of that office.
well,
You know,
it's really every office, it's not
Right,
just
I
that
mean-
office. We would probably need to close to the public 1 to 2 weeks. Just for safety under construction. They're gonna try to do it as, if this company is chosen, they have the ability, and they have said that they would do as much outside of office hours to be less disruptive, but once you start building and moving stuff, that time frame would give us the opportunity to come in, go through the stuff that's in the vault, that we have stuff, things in the vault that don't need to be in a vault. And there are things that should be in the vault that aren't in the vault. Go through all these plans that are around to see if we have duplicates, get to those things that we don't typically, we're not able to get to. And online, there's so much that the public can do online if they needed to, but we wouldn't be closed down for a whole month.
Is there any way that we could get the water and sewer collections in this building out of that other building?
There's not enough room in this, there's not enough room in here for 4 people.
I'm not just saying for collections.
Well, then you'd have to hire someone with a computer to sit here and collect.
You mean bring Penny over here?
We'll bring Penny over
You
here.
wouldn't be able to, not with all the equipment she has in her office.
Yeah, I don't know how much she has.
So the plan is that open area, the open space, not divided into offices.
So we may pick up some of those standalone,
Yeah.
right, but it's gonna really
Through the
depend how
codes.
the employees want that flow. You know, whatever works. 'Cause Diane and Mary are used, they cover for each other. So the assessor would be in here as well, and I don't know if Mike's gonna wanna come downstairs. Um, And we could have cubicles in this space without a problem, but we have the equipment that's in the selectman's office right now that will come out here.
So when, there's this whole, like that wall would come out and
This wall?
that wall,
No.
what would this
Nothing
be?
is being touched over here.
Oh, what's this gonna be?
We're gonna put the conference table in there, so
Oh,
that if,
It's just not on the.
well,
on the
no, because it's
plan.
not being, there's no construction. being
Oh,
done
but
yet.
that's not gonna change?
No.
Okay.
So
Your
those
office
offices,
isn't gonna change either? Okay.
so that's gonna be a conference room behind us?
Yeah.
Their offices are gonna be out here?
Their offices, assessing and welfare, well, Mary's is the welfare. And then the conference room gives privacy if anybody, you know, if they're meeting with a client or Mike wants to use the table to spread out plans. Robin wants to meet with someone who can't use the stairs.
Cause they need access, well, doesn't the public need access to them too, to get at the, we get our dump permits through this office.
Well,
that
that'll be at the
That would
service
be
window.
a
That
service
front
window.
window. Would be at that front window. All that would be done through there like it is
Okay,
now.
okay, so they'd come in
This-
here.
This
Okay.
wouldn't be here. if
Your
we do
desk
this,
So there'd be a wall across here,
Correct.
and they would just, okay,
That's
okay.
what it looks like.
Yeah,
And
so there'd be one
stairway
window
right
there.
there, that's gonna be closed off and a window there and.
A
that's
walkway
opened
over
up.
here between those. two.
Yeah, and, two windows in a wall this way.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, just. Not a disruption, but
No,
just have to
yeah,
tell it.
Well, there's-
Make it work, yeah.
Yeah, when you have an active building, it's
Right.
hard not to.
Yeah.
Not as disruptive as an employee being assaulted like that.
Yeah.
and then Debbie could have a keypad for this door, so she could park here, so at night when she comes out, she can go right into her parking spot,
Oh, so
out that side,
that over there, yeah.
out of that wall. And then the employees would enter through here to get to work.
Oh, yeah, through that
Through those two
door,
doors
come in
there.
here, come into
Right,
this area, to this area,
You walk across.
isolated.
Right.
When you think right now, how often they type that office or your system.
Right,
Right, so she got this door to come into.
and here,
Yeah.
that area.
And that'll probably be left open during the day.
Right.
it would be more convenient for her to have it opening out than she does now opening in.
Right, well, yeah, it would take up so
Much
much room.
space.
Right. And there's two cabinets on this wall right now in her office that just have supplies in it, that can be out here. If the
She could
cabinet
move
is a
some
little
supplies.
snug. Because
We
that,
could consolidate all the supplies instead of some in here and some in there and have it all in one place. I screwed it up, it's 187 square feet for the public. I was doing this,
um,
I was including the doorway,
Oh,
so it's only 187
yeah, it's
Yeah.
pretty even.
square feet, it's pretty even between the two. But she's gaining the
But there's-
hallway and the bathroom.
well, the bathroom is behind it, it doesn't take up,
Well, the bathroom's gonna be gone.
oh, it's gonna be gone, but it's gonna be here.
Right, but I mean, her wall
So hers-
space is gonna be taking over the hallway and the bathroom.
The bathroom that are there now are gone.
So it's just gonna be a hallway to the bathroom.
No. The bathroom for the public, for the employees is gonna be through this door into this door. They're gonna come in through the door and go into this door right here that's in this room.
Oh, okay.
Just around so everybody can have a look at it.
Yeah,
It's really a simple
Yeah, I
design.
mean, nobody in Newbury thought they were gonna get assaulted. And that's a smaller town than Hillsborough.
it's,
Well, it's really not the size of the town. It's-
No, but I'm just saying, I mean,
It's
we need to do
the- it's-
something here too.
not saying that we don't need, you know, we don't, not that we, it's not needed, and it's just a shame that nowadays, day and age, that we have to think about it and have to
Address it.
address it, you know?
But how is that addressing it?
Excuse me. This is a selectmen's meeting.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So the only thing we'd have to decide as any change is whether or not you want that wall to be moved to the other side of the window, but we could do that after. We could even do that after the quotes, because it's just putting a wall in a different place.
Right,
I see what you're saying.
I-
They're
I
both
just-
about the same.
yeah, 16 feet. and this
I
is
just
all-
wouldn't want it to shortchange the lobby area
Right.
and have, things become disorganized or
Right.
in there, so that is the reason
Yeah,
that.
yeah, I mean, if they've got 5 people standing in line, then they've got enough room in this 16-foot area over here,
Right, this, that
that area.
big area
Yeah.
with people here
Yeah,
at the windows.
right.
If that window was moved up, it wouldn't-
I don't think you're not gaining anything, you're gonna meet,
well, you take more room in here.
Yeah.
This is only,
179 square feet.
eight.
That one's 187.
So this would be 14 feet this way and 12,
Correct.
12 feet this way. And this one is 16 feet.
Only on this side.
Oh, that's what that is?
It's 16
it's
feet
16.
here, and it's only,
Yeah. Oh,
it's only
no,
9 feet here.
it's just the numbers.
Yeah.
It's a little.
Yeah, I know.
That plan.
So I looked at that, and I said, well, it's not, you're gonna gain 3 feet by 12 feet,
Well, right,
which is 36 square feet. That's not gonna make a big difference.
yeah.
I think you can use. Is that, you might get you something to put out for asking for. bid. So is that what you wanna do, is wait,
Yeah. a couple
I
more
think
get
bids.
a couple more?
Yeah.
If we can get any. I mean,
Yeah.
if we can't,
Yeah, I mean,
At least we tried.
if you put it out to bid and if, even at our next meeting, if you haven't gotten anybody, I don't see anybody. We can put it out for
Right.
a couple of weeks. Mhm. Mhm.
So, well, the sidewalk with Manningham, one of the things that was discussed on the sidewalk, was maybe we change out the sinks and the countertops, and that is something that Jeremy could do. But it's a board discussion because you all took the sidewalk
You
separately.
weren't there, Richard, when we said that. So we could
Richard
at
was
least
not-
switch out the
yeah.
bath, the toilets and the sinks to make it a little bit nicer.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because it's gotta be ready for next year. Without the plans and everything else, we wouldn't have any facilities up there. We could
Next year.
upgrade those.
What would that cost us?
we'd have to, yeah. I didn't get pricing before this meeting, so I wasn't even sure, because you guys haven't all talked about it.
But, I mean, the faucets all work, correct? It's just that they're old.
Right,
Right. The infrastructure's there. You know,
I mean,
as far as.
I guess,
the toilets, the sinks and everything else, and they're just in poor condition.
right, I guess my question is, because I talked to JT, I mean, my big thing was the cleanliness. It looked like some of that stuff hadn't been cleaned for a while. There were cobwebs along the roof edge that could easily be taken. I mean, it shows neglect. And just cleaning it. I mean, if we think we're gonna be tearing it down next, if we think we're only gonna have 1 year of use for it, I mean, is it worth spending money on making the faucets look better? And, I mean, I don't know, I'm just asking a question. I wasn't part of that discussion, I wasn't there, but I don't
Well,
know.
I think we can at least get somebody that would be able to go in there and take out cobwebs.
Yeah, I do
The
too.
cleaning of it, that's
I-
something we have to deal with.
I
I
mean, they
told them
try, I
totally.
mean, you're not gonna,
Right.
spiders are gonna be there no matter what, but,
Well,
yeah.
I told JT to come up, to have a schedule, I mean, I suggested he come up with a schedule to have it cleaned multiple times a day. You know how sometimes you go to like a Target or Walmart or anything like that, you walk into the men's room, I'm assuming ladies room the same way, although I don't know. They have a schedule, and somebody comes in every hour, every 2 hours, they sign off and they do a once over. I would think we'd wanna do something, I suggested to JT that we think about doing something like that. But
yeah,
Again,
I think that's something that will get discussed, because he mentioned that to me. So that will have to be a staffing thing, obviously.
I mean, I would think that at least morning, noon and night, they could do it.
Right, 3 times a day would be
Right,
reasonable.
they do,
You know,
well,
and then-
I know they
I mean, you
do.
could clean it and then somebody could dump paper towels somewhere, but
No, I get it, I mean, but I mean, you could also post something in there saying, if you find the restroom and it's
Yeah.
not up to what you think should, the cleanliness should be, let somebody know, we send somebody in and we clean it, because you're right, somebody could go in and trash it, and
yeah.
so, but I mean, we should make the effort to at least keep it neat and clean. And if it requires hiring somebody part-time, my father did that when he was retired. I mean, he used to go in and, this is down in Massachusetts, he had a nice little part-time job. Just cleaning I wouldn't wanna do it, but he did.
It's something to discuss, to utilize the building that's there, you know. Change the petitions out, new sinks, countertops. um, You know, thinking about it too, you could, you know, in the building he wants, you could put changing compartments, you could do those off the back of the building. They're just little rooms that don't have anything in them. You know, if they add it to that building, and then, you know, we should get, that's the issue of the building itself. But the issue, I think the biggest thing that should be looked at is the water. And we need if that building is down the road is gonna be built, we need to know where the leach field is, the use of it, so a well can be established.
Right.
In the right position, and you don't, I mean, if they're having issues with the water, which is a dug well, and we have a lot more public up there, we do put a drinking fountain in there or not, that all needs to be done, prior to making that construction.
Well, we certainly wouldn't do that now, I don't think. To dig a new well,
Well,
would you think we'd wanna do that now? Before,
even if you don't build a new building,
You're gonna
the
need it.
water issue is serious. So if
okay,
you knew where you were gonna put a building, locate a septic, you could put a well in and eliminate that problem.
He did tell you that the water goes through that boathouse.
oh yeah,
Okay,
yeah, he showed it to me.
okay,
He
Yeah.
showed it to me, and he also
Yeah.
told me that that whole system was designed basically for a one-family house, and that we don't have
No.
to, we have capacity issues that.
because
are problematic.
I don't think we're gonna be doing this next year.
Or soon.
I agree,
don't- So I don't see why updating the existing toilets and urinals and sinks, even if they're there for 2 years, is better than what is there now.
Yeah, not have anything.
Because I would assume that the toilets must be ready to be resealed or whatever they do.
Yeah. I have,
Yeah, I know they're not
Yeah.
making,
Oh, it was dated, I think.
yeah, right. Well, you can't tell because people go in there and, you know, they run from the water into the bathroom, now you got water all over the bathroom. Because you're dripping off your bathing suit.
Oh, when we went in on Monday.
Yeah.
everything
It was dry. That's good. I wasn't even-
yeah, and get the engineered plan, know what you're gonna do if you do that building and use septic, then you would
This is-
have a better estimate of that total cost, and then you have to weigh out that total cost. You know, do we need that up there? You know, I know he's got a lot of kids up there as far as the summer program and stuff like that, but it would give us time to weigh that difference. You know, if we upgrade it and, you know, put staging stalls in there, that might be sufficient for the camp and, you know, to get it through the next couple of years. And then if you have a quote, just say $400,000, you could say to the trustees, this is what we need. My past experience is that if, well, when there was a park board, if you said, we got this project down the road and it costs $400,000, we only have 300,000, the interest that is earned every year would be put towards that project. And in the will, it says that any, that money is for Manahan or any other not normally budgeted item. And I was told, whether I might be wrong, but I was told when we were doing that, if you had the project and you had an estimate for it, somebody couldn't come in and say, well, I want to do this and use that trust money, which the will allows for. But if it had, but Manahan was the first, first priority for doing it. So that money would be covered until if you knew what your final cost was, you would get it all out of the trust and you wouldn't have to take any taxpayer money from it. That's the way it was explained to me, and then I'm off the board for 12 years, so, but that's the way it was always explained in the past.
Is the well and the septic system of it eligible for part of that grant? Or is it just the building?
I don't know.
You know,
I would
Is it-
assume
I
that if
do
it's
know that
all one
he wants
project.
to, yeah, I know he wants to apply for a grant. Or he can preliminarily apply for the grant, but once he goes to do the grant, he has to have engineering plans.
Right.
So that's gonna have to get done anyway.
What's he applying the grant for? The building?
Matching funds
For the building?
for the building or for the project. That's why I just asked if the well and the septic are included in the project.
We would have to check to see if it's,
Or if it's
If-
just,
yeah,
The
if it
building.
has to be done after you hear on the grant or before. That maybe make.
right. I mean, usually, grants are usually started in the spring anyway, so you run by this season's grants.
Sometimes it's twice a year,
Twice a year.
depending on the grants.
But even so, if you take your existing building and you put in a new well for that building, and then a new septic system for that, for wherever you want to put it,
But that's the
but that
thing.
would upgrade it anyway.
Well, I would think if we're gonna do a well and a septic system, we anticipate using that for the new building as well as the old.
Oh,
Correct,
right.
as well as the
Okay,
old.
If that new building
The,
is
the
built,
only extra expense would be the fact that we're running it to the old building. And when we built the new building, we would have to unattach
that's
it
just the
and then
water,
attach it to the new.
that's not a major obstacle. Yeah, I think, I think that part of it's a good, at this point, it's a good temporary solution is the best word to use, but, it would keep the facilities open and running during the process and get it, and would make the existing building more palatable to the public, with the condition it's in now. It's served its purpose.
I guess the only issue that I see is it'd be kind of nice to know where the new building's gonna be before we decide any of this. Because if the building, the spot that we hope to put the building is not buildable, then we would have to put it someplace else, and that could affect where the water and
Well,
sewer would be.
That's what you get the engineering on the new building done.
Before we do this.
Well, no. And if where the new leach field would go, it would accommodate where you would put this new building. The leach field, you have to have a 75-foot radius around the well. And the leach
Right,
field cannot
yeah,
be
and they
in.
can't be next
So-
to each other, yes.
What I'm saying is that you put the plan out there, say, 5 years down the road, you're gonna build that building, you have the infrastructure in place to put it and make sure it fits where we wanna put it and everything's there. We have it in place to do that
Right.
down the road. Not just, do a leach field anywhere and then come back and say, well, no, we can't put the building in. If we get the engineering study, then it will tell us where all this will go. I mean, they're saying that they're having trouble with the leach field now, so if that has to be replaced, where, how it's, where it is, what it needs to be up to, and where the new building's gonna go, and all that would be incorporated in the future plans.
Isn't that what it said? Like,
Kind of.
that is good. Yeah,
Yeah,
so we have to wait until we get the engineering thing done before
right,
we do any of this.
For the septic and as well.
Yes,
yeah,
That
that
engineer,
needs state approval, you need that state approval for that.
because I know when people come in here to get building permits on vacant lots, usually what they've had is they find out where their septic system's gonna go, where their well's gonna go, and then gives them okay, where am I gonna put the house?
They do a test pit. and,
Right, they do
you know,
test pits
where
and all that
everything goes, but
Is that money coming out of Manningham so that we need to meet with the trustees?
yes. I would,
that money would come out of the Manningham Trust Fund.
Right.
So we would need to meet with the trustees to make sure they're on board with this.
Or,
right. As soon as we come up with numbers, I'm
so
sure
that's gonna be in.
they wanna see the numbers
Yeah.
as far
Okay.
as what we
So,
wanna do.
Are we gonna contact?
I would suggest that you meet with the entire board.
Right,
Yes,
right, yes, no, no,
Right.
we,
Oh,
with the
right.
board. So are we gonna put out feelers for somebody to engineer this thing for us?
Well,
Or-
okay, I guess
Or
my
is it an
question is,
engineering
the
bid?
question is, we agreed this is one of the questions that I had, but we'll go to it now. We agreed to
Contact.
to contract with an engineering firm. That money for that is coming out of Manningham, is that correct? Because we didn't say.
Well, yeah, it should.
It
And we
should,
have
but-
two.
but I
two
think we have
capital
to be more
reserve funds for
specific.
that.
It's to that.
Well, that
And
it
then we're
it
gonna-
qualifies for Manningham
Yeah.
Trust or the Parks Capital Reserve. So, I mean, it really depends on what the cost is gonna be as to where the money.
So do we delay? Where the money's gonna come from until we find out what the cost is? Now we're gonna get multiple bids for the engineering.
So Fieldstone has been doing engineering down there. They surveyed the entire property. If you remember. They're working on the encroachments with Mike and JT. We could put it out for bid, or that could be a continued, just adding to what they're doing down there. They know, they may have measurements already that could be helpful for sure. But it's up to the board.
Yeah, I mean, you need, I know that engineering firm, you know, they did the whole thing, but you would need a septic designer to do your septic, and then that would locate your well. And if they can do that, you know, there's multiple,
I thought Rich wanted to know where the building was gonna be able to fit first.
I'd rather know where the septic system's gonna go first.
yeah, kind of hand in hand.
Yeah, I know, it goes kind of together,
Yeah.
but
Well,
Well,
Can the
JT
engineers
has an
do all
idea
three?
where he wants to put the building.
right,
I mean, you could ask, the engineering company that up there, Fieldstone, will this work here? And they maybe say yes or no, and then, you know, if they do the whole thing, then design a leach field and well location.
do they do all three?
we don't know.
Can we
I
find out?
mean,
Yeah,
yeah, I would assume so.
If they're already working up there, they should. know
Once,
faster.
and once we get a price, you'll let us know, and then we can decide if we're gonna move, what we'll do, where the money will come from.
Right.
And maybe, at another time, the board can talk about a master plan down there, because that's not the only building that,
Right.
but I think. that's a good point.
That's more the thing.
Okay. Right there. Richard.
Why are you looking at me? Nobody else has anything?
So we
else?
have non-public, so.
Okay, I have, actually, I have 3 or 4 things. Do we have a policy? Somebody asked me, this is a former board member actually asked me that. I didn't know the answer to this, so I'll ask. Do we have a policy about employing family members in the same department? For instance, if I'm a supervisor, can my brother be working, or my sister be, or my wife be working in that department? Or my son? or daughter?
We don't have a nepotism policy.
Should we?
I believe we should. But like I told you earlier, we're working on the, employee handbook, but the board could put a policy in place, we can add it to the employee handbook. I would think that.
I would think we'd want something like that, just.
Yeah. Yeah, and we've had, there are people who are related that work in different departments. We don't have anyone who is supervising.
In the same department, yeah, like a supervisor.
Yeah.
Supervising a relative.
Right.
I would think we would have a policy on that
Before it happens.
before it happens, yes.
Yes.
So what do you need?
So we can pull that separate policy together, give it to the board for review and either change, approve, whatever you want to do. And then we'll incorporate it into the personnel
Okay.
policy.
So you'll put it together, then we'll
Yep.
vote on it. Okay, at our last meeting, we got a document from, who is it? So this is Jennifer Shamel and Michael Shamel. It's about, I think that's how you pronounce it,
Mhm.
about property cards and all this. Has anybody had a chance to look at this?
I do.
They found some really nice stuff that we should think about incorporating in on our website. Should we talk about this at our next meeting? Have everybody review it? Does that make sense? I don't know if
And to
everybody.
go into each link,
Huh?
you're talking about going into each link, and taking a look at
Yeah,
those and
yeah.
talk about that.
Yeah, because I think there's a lot of good stuff here, and I think we should incorporate some of that in our.
Yeah.
It's just information,
Yeah,
access to information,
Right.
just
Yeah.
give
Yeah.
them access for, what links to access.
Right, but it has to be on our webpage, so. that-
Right, no,
Yeah.
but that's all it is.
Yeah,
Do
that's
it.
true.
Yep.
Okay, that's true, hold on. Bear with me. Okay, here's a question, my son was over my house, and he's thinking of running for select board, and he was asking me different questions. And I didn't have an answer to some of this stuff. So this is one that I didn't know, I guessed, and I said I would ask. You know, when we sign a manifest and we're spending money or we're buying something, are we approving these things before they're purchased or after they're purchased? Before, everything is before?
Manifest is after. Those are checks that you're approving. So the department heads, these are regular expenses, or we talk about projects with the board, and you say, where is that coming from? That gets paid, it's part of what you're approving.
And so so the work has already been done and we're just approving the
Yeah.
check.
And that includes things that you've already talked about, includes like electric bills, propane bills, which you've got the list in front of you, the bills are here to review if you want to. Which we,
Okay, now what would happen if there was something that the board didn't think we should do. And it was already done, and we said, we're not signing this. What happens in that case?
So you would put the checks, so you're signing something that is getting paid. The checks don't get signed by the treasurer or mailed out unless the board approves it. So if there's something in there, and Jim has questioned things in the past, he'll say, what is this for? What is that for? And the bills, if you want to look at them before the meeting, I would suggest that, anything can get pulled out of it.
Okay, and if they get pulled out, what happens? What happens if somebody bought a truck and we said we're not gonna pay for it?
Well, first that wouldn't happen.
Yeah,
It would
but I'm
happen.
just using that as an example.
Well-
I realize that.
Right, because that's something that, like.
Is that,
Dennis
it's on
was-
purchase budget?
Yeah,
Like like what we had tonight with that,
we have,
that Sam's thing. He had not purchased, he had not,
right,
so we approved it tonight.
Correct.
And so at some point, it's gonna show up on one of our manifests.
And that money's in the, it's
Yeah.
budgeted and
Right.
in a fund.
Okay.
yeah,
okay.
and those are budgeted expenses. We have, computer contracts that get paid through there. We have reimbursements, we have
Must be like the 30.
everyday expenses that
Okay,
are budgeted.
okay, that's what I thought, but I wasn't. One of the things, another thing, this is gonna be a touchy one, I know, but I'm gonna bring it up anyway. We talked about it a little bit last week. Capital Reserve Fund requests and trustee funds requests.
I was gonna bring that up tonight too.
I brought it up before you.
That's okay.
It's my understanding, from what I've read and heard, is that we have the ultimate responsibility for requesting this money. It's three of us. And I think, I don't feel right now that we have enough information. At least I don't feel that I have enough information. So I would request that we break out any capital reserve or trustee requests so that they're separate, so we could approve them on an individual basis, so we can talk about them, and so that we are aware of what we're approving, and we can also question why it's coming from this, because we talked a little about this at last meeting, because I asked the question, who makes the decision, where the money comes from? I think it's important that we, as the individuals who are responsible for this money, or requesting it, that we understand what we're requesting, when we're requesting it, and why we're requesting it. And I don't think we have that now. So I would strongly request that we change our procedure to break those out and vote on those separately.
So last meeting, you saw that I put it out on that manifest.
Yeah.
Can I finish?
Go ahead,
You're already shaking your head no, I know where this came from.
go ahead.
And that's not a problem. And the board talks about things, and then we get the bills later on, we code them to those, like this, for example, you always ask, where's it coming from? We say that. So you should be aware on that, because we talk about those things. Same as these Fieldstone things. Where is that money coming from? We talk about that. It's not a problem to do it separately, but I think if the board isn't aware on those items, the majority, not all of them, are discussed here prior to moving forward on certain things. But I think that the board has done fine as far as accounting practices go. I think there's always room if the board wants to talk about it, and especially if you're questioning whether or not you're aware of it, it makes sense to do something different.
I thought we
But-
agreed that on the manifest, if there was something as a capital, if it was coming out, requesting from capital reserve or from the trust funds, that it would be listed separately on the manifest cover sheet.
I don't think
Right,
that's
but you-
enough.
Well, I'm-
wanna do
I
it
don't wanna sit
separately.
here and make a motion for every single invoice.
But not, how many of those do we have a meeting? One,
You
two?
don't have them in the meeting.
No,
Right, we don't have a member.
So you,
Right.
you want a motion for every single one of the capital reserve requests?
Yeah, I do. I think we should. And I think I think most of them would go very quickly. Because some of them, like, for instance, we took money out for the fire truck. That wouldn't even be a discussion, we just have a motion that we're taking the money out for this. That way, we're aware when it's being done, we know how much it is, and it's done. But there's some things that we talk about like 2, 3, 4 months ago, and to be honest, I don't remember everything that we talked about from meeting to meeting, so it would be nice to have all of these things listed, so it's like,
Or listed, I could see
But-
me
but
having
not-
them listed and having
no,
the bill
no,
in
I-
there, and
no,
then
I-
initial the bill.
but no, I think we should at least, I think we owe it, and again, if majority of the board says no, it's no, I accept it. I really think it makes sense for us to do this. But again, that's my opinion.
One of the things you could do is when you're talking, about a project, and whoever's presenting that, you say, yeah, move forward with it. Maybe that's when you make that motion. This has already been discussed to come out of the capital reserve fund, make the motion to take it out of this capital reserve fund. And then
Because
it can be listed on the manifest when the bill is paid.
that's fine, it doesn't have to necessarily be at the same
Yeah.
meeting, but I really think that we should make that determination, make that conscious effort to say, okay, we are taking it out of this fund for this reason at this point in time. I really think that and it shows up in the minutes. I think that would help tremendously.
But if it's listed on the manifest,
I-
Wait a
I
minute,
would
wait
do
a
that
minute,
as well.
wait a minute. If she lists it on the manifest and I make a motion to approve the manifest, that whole list of what we approved goes in the minutes already. And then we could have the invoices to put our initials on for those items. I don't see the reason to sit here and say, I make a motion to pay $225,000 out of this capital reserve fund.
Because you're prompting us to have a discussion on it and to actually acknowledge that we're doing that, which is very different than just signing a bunch of piece of papers with a little list on it.
But then if you have a question on it, you
I really think that it deserves a
separate
verbal,
motion.
a verbal acknowledgement, not just scribbling a little note on.
It's not scribbled.
That-
But it's
that's-
not scribbled, it's on the manifest.
But I think when you're talking about the project, maybe that's when, because it's all fresh and you've already had that information.
That's
Because
fine.
You could, you
It-
forget, you could forget it by the time it's on the manifest and then have to have a discussion on it.
Well, You
Make that
don't
motion at
necessarily
that
have to
time.
come to this, you can just say, we already had this discussion at this point in time, and we decided, yes, we're gonna do it.
Yeah.
I really think that we have to do that, but again, I'm just one of three. If you guys don't think we should, I will say
I would
fine.
like
we-
to see them listed on the end.
Yeah, but when we're talking about projects, why not
Yeah.
just make,
Well, that too.
because you're already saying, okay, you're
Yes.
asking where it's coming from, so why not make the motion at that time and we'll list it on the manifest?
That's fine, that it was,
And then it's
we
listed.
made we voted up this day and time.
Well,
If you
I
have,
mean, if you did it 7 months ago,
Yeah.
I guess I could write it down and.
yeah, okay,
but-
that would be helpful.
So I was gonna bring that up as
So-
a follow-up as
So
well.
are we doing that?
Well, we'll make the motion at the time that somebody requests something to become, coming out of capital reserve or out of the
And
trust
then
fund,
list it on the-
Okay,
and then
so,
list it on the manifest when it's getting paid
okay,
as a separate,
are you making that motion?
you can make the motion.
So usually talk about a project, you talk about where the money's coming from.
Right.
And it could be 2 months prior. And just to have it written on a little, to remind us, we've already approved it,
Correct.
and it's
Right.
not a matter of just initially, it's, you're signing it off, but you've already discussed it and approved it.
Right, right.
We had a
And at-
motion
And
to
at
that
that
effect.
time, make the motion to
Right.
approve it, which is
Yeah.
better than us just saying, yeah, we all agree.
We good? I'll make that motion that we do that. You guys are really amenable to what I'm saying. I don't know what it is.
Maybe.
Well, it's already being done just in a
Yeah.
different way.
Yeah.
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
okay.
Yeah, I'll second it.
All in favor?
Uh, okay, I have one more. Then I'll keep my, shot. The website. Looking at this document that we got from, Jennifer and her brother Michael, I went to our website, and I was disappointed that there were things that I thought were out there that shouldn't be out there. And I thought about it, and I said, we really need to put more focus on our website than we have. And I don't think we have the personnel to do it, because I think everybody's stretched right now. I really do. And plus, maintaining a website is something that tends to be fairly technical, and it's not everybody has the skill set to do that. So I thought to myself, why, I'm just suggesting this, and we can talk about it at our next meeting. I would rather not talk about it at this meeting, I'm just gonna put it out there, and is have a technology committee that's responsible for our website.
What-
Updates,
What are the problems with the website that you're seeing? Just the content, not enough content?
for instance, I looked at, our meeting, when I looked at this stuff right here about, I also went out and looked at the selectmen. And I didn't see, I was looking for a link specifically to our meetings to see what meetings were out there. And I couldn't find anything on a link to our website, to anything that, to any, so then I went out to YouTube and I said, I know there's something out here, so I went out, after 5 minutes, I found it, and we only have one meeting out there from, I think, June. And that's just one of the things that I found, but I really think that we need to develop more resources to our website, and I really don't think we have the expertise in-house or the amount of people that we need to do that. So I really think that if we form, there's a lot of technical savvy within this community, and I think that would help us develop, move forward with this. But anyway, we can talk about it at next meeting, but I really think we should think about doing that. That's all I got.
So I was gonna bring up a follow-up to the trustees, the trust fund. At the last selectmen's meeting, I talked to the board about the fact that the trustees didn't even appear to acknowledge our request for reimbursement. I've been told that it was discussed, it just isn't in the draft minutes. But then I was told it was discussed at the meeting prior to that they were gonna change what they were requesting from the board. That's not in the minutes, so, and they don't record their meetings, so. But my question, what I sent to the trustees was a request for them to meet within 10 days to approve our request for reimbursement, which was almost $100,000. $86,000 of which was part of 2 warrant articles that have passed at town meeting. And granted, the board is agents are spent. And the reason I bring this up is because we did discuss it at the last meeting, and I emailed all 3 of the trustees. The chairman came back immediately and said that the discretion is the agenda is at her discretion. And says that also, as stated in the email, she had sent the board an email prior to the trustees meeting, questioning a couple of things and saying that we're not sending items in, kind of exactly what Rich was just saying. But saying that the board was not following the RSA. And I'm bringing this up because this is a public record. And yet the board does follow the RSA. I don't know if it's been put out there on social media. Right now, you've enhanced what you're doing. I called NHMA because the chairman had stated that this was learned at the NHMA training. And I kind of hope, I'm going to attend the next trustee meeting, that all the trustees would go to a training. And because the main role, well, not the main role, because there is an investment side to the trust fund and the capital reserve funds, is what the board is requesting is that, does that fit into this capital reserve fund? One of the funds was, why are you charging it to this? Do you really want to charge it to this instead of here? Well, it's an accepted use of this that it's requested from. And so I had a couple more questions when she sent that the agenda is at her discretion, that concerns about any unilateral decisions. And so I asked, okay, so when was this decided? When was that decided? And I would like to, there's no way to have something sent out to the trustees without, as you could see, I think I forwarded those emails to you, that the conversation is just between the chairman and me. And you don't want to have a conversation over email anyway, but want that information out. She did invite me if I wanted to go to the next meeting. I am going to go to the next meeting, and they refused through the chairman, and I don't know if the other two had any input on it, that they would not meet within 10 days. They would take it up in September or October. Now, this is $100,000 that we could use. And it got requested on the same meeting that Water and Sewer was requesting reimbursement. We didn't get any notification that it was denied, that it wasn't going to be discussed. We got no notification that changes had been made to what they were looking for. And communication is pretty important when you're talking about town funds. And Laura Lee still never heard that it was rejected. She does know now that they're going to talk about, they scheduled the meeting September 11th. But it was almost as if, we want this, which is fine. We have what they asked for. But it's based on this email, it may not be enough. It may not accept it, even though it's a legal accepted accounting practice. So I wanted to follow up on that request for them to meet was denied, and we'll have to wait till another couple weeks before we get reimbursed. Yet we're paying some pretty big bills on the two projects, which are going very well. And I just wanted to make a comment. Tom had mentioned something about a new park. That is all grant money from DES, through the state government, other than $45,000 that the board has already stated could come from the beautification fund.
Dana Crane.
Dana Crane, thank you.
Oh, I'm sorry, Iris.
I'm sorry.
Slipped up.
I know, sorry. So, but just so that's not, so we're not moving back. So Friday, September 11th, if any board member wants to come, I'm gonna send the chairman an email saying I'm gonna take her up on her offer. It's 4 o'clock, Friday, September
Where do they meet?
They're meeting at the fire station. So another issue that came up, was she was pretty critical of my job performance and stated that I neglect to put them on the agenda for the board to vote on them. And so that's why I called NHMA, because she said that she got that information from an NHMA on. So I said, did you say that it has to be listed on the agenda? Because there's nowhere in the state law that if the state wants things done a specific way, we know when we have to have public hearings. We know when we have to go to town meeting. There's nothing that puts together a structure on how the board has to approve payments out of capital reserve. It's accounting practices. You know, we've done it a certain way, changing it now, which is fine, but there's no mechanism in place for there to be any kind of, and I'm not saying they're demanding, but a demand on the board changing the way they're doing it, if it's needed. Nothing is in the RSA, nothing is written out, but, so I stated that agendas are not required by law to begin with. You can have a meeting, you don't have to post an agenda, we do that for the public. That came back to, you told us we needed an agenda, and we did. We have some internal issues right now that, you know, send us a posting so that we can put it on, print it out and post it type thing. But that will be this, I think it's great to be invited to a meeting. And again, if the board, any board members want to go, let me know so that if there's more than one going, I can post that. September 11th at 4 p.m. at the budget process. We tried something new last year. I didn't really like it, but I don't know if the board liked it. Instead of having budget work sessions, we did it during regular meetings, and I don't know how you feel how that flowed. Because I want to start scheduling. Did you prefer it that way? Did you prefer the budget work sessions? Does it matter?
I mean, yeah, this year it does. Take time off during the week this year. Tough for me, but
All right, we can keep
whatever
it,
way
we
we're
can
gonna
keep
do
it
it,
the way we
it
did it
works,
last year.
you know?
Yeah,
Because the department heads came to our meetings, right?
regular meetings versus
Regular
budget
meetings,
work
right.
sessions. Keep it that way?
And if we get stuck on an issue, we can always have I would think, a work session,
Okay.
you know, if it encompasses more information than what we can obtain for a meeting. Because I don't think any of us want to be here at 12 o'clock tonight.
No. And just an FYI, we have, we're meeting with the police union for an organizational meeting, September 8th at 2 p.m. That's just to set the ground rules.
How long is
and,
that gonna take?
Maybe an hour. But
So we can even pull that.
yeah, it's up to you if you want to. I mean, you don't necessarily need to be there unless you have a schedule, but, you know,
What time?
2 o'clock at the PD. And we'll be scheduling the employee union after Labor Day. And one last thing, political signs, we're coming into, how do I get ahead of it? You know, last year, political signs have always been hung up at the transfer station. And last year, there were a couple of issues that took place around the full budget committee warrant article and stuff like that. And I wanted to know if the board is still comfortable allowing political signs at the transfer station and people being out there, I mean, around the outside of the gate, or if you'd like to, change that.
Yeah, I mean, I thought last year, certain times that they were encroaching on people coming in, and I don't feel it's a good thing to do at that location.
I don't mind the signs, I just don't think
Yeah,
they
when
need,
they-
they need to be there.
They're stopping cars, and,
And the only reason I bring it up is because last year it took our staff away from what they were doing to go out and handle that. And on a Saturday,
I thought we had decided last year that we could only have political signs like a week or two before the election. And they had to be taken out a week after the election.
Yeah.
I think we wanna keep that timeframe in place.
and should it be the people that aren't allowed then?
I wouldn't.
Because the signs don't move and get in the way.
Yeah,
once
I
they're
don't,
out.
I don't want people standing there
right,
accosting customers
coming in,
coming in,
that's
not
the,
accosting.
that's the ones that happen.
I don't think
I
that's
don't think they need
necessary.
to be there. Okay, so
Signs
there's a
are
sign.
okay, no people.
Right, but who would handle that? Would that be, when we ask police to handle, I would think we wouldn't want the.
But if we had the policy, I think that's where we would.
Yeah,
would
yeah,
handle
we have a
it.
policy saying that the people can't be there.
Yeah.
But when they got complaints about not being able to drive in, then Angela would go out there and
Right.
say, you need to
Yeah.
move, because there was no policy to say you can't be there.
Right. I think there is.
Should we have a sign? We are saying no.
Well,
No.
if they read the sign, but we could.
We should have something though
Yeah.
saying no handing out political bills, something so they know that we don't want that.
Yeah, we could put a sign up on the fence.
Yeah.
I said, do you want a motion?
I want a motion for everything.
Make a motion that we allow political signs for 2 weeks before election
Why would we get that?
and 1 week, well,
Oh, because they haven't,
We already,
Taken
we
down.
already have that.
you already have.
yeah,
Oh,
okay,
you
but
want a
the
motion on
not the
the-
no.
Oh, okay, well, I make a motion that no political people, I don't know how to say it.
Yeah.
No,
No
or
loitering,
anything
no
else.
soliciting.
Soliciting
No,
on
soliciting
town
votes.
property, it would cover,
I would second that.
and got by the door here, do the same
All
thing.
in favor?
Aye.
When you say, I'm just asking, September 8th is a primary,
Correct.
so you want 2 weeks before and 1 week after?
That's what we had decided last year, I thought.
Okay,
Yeah,
then what
that's
about the
in place.
November,
Same thing.
same thing?
They have to take
Oh,
them
they have
down.
to take them down
They have to
within
take
one.
them- yeah, they have to
Okay,
take
I
them down,
understand now.
So they're not gonna be there from September 8th through November, whenever. They take
Okay.
them down, they put them back
Back
up.
up, okay. I couldn't get it in my brain what you wanted for a week after, I'm going, why do they need them there, they're already done.
Yeah.
Laura and I put together this Board of Selectmen meeting guidelines. If you guys could read it so we could adopt it for
It's really putting into writing what you have.
what we have.
What we talked about,
Iris
right.
talked to me, and so I wrote it up for
It
based on
was
what
just
she was.
basically saying that our meetings are public, are open to the public, they are not public meetings. If you want to speak at a public comment, then you can make a comment. We're not gonna be discussing it back and forth. And then if you have something that you want to discuss, then it would have to be on an agenda. And the only person that would be able to, that's the one thing that's not in here. The only person that would be speaking is the person that made the appointment. So we're not gonna get
Oh,
one person with an appointment and 5 people talking. So if
You wanna vote on this tonight?
Well, I'm sorry, Laura, but I'd like that part added to it.
I'm
was that
sorry,
in
I
there?
was typing
I
this,
know.
I asked you to look,
I
at
know,
it, I
and
did
I
everything
did.
you wanted.
I did, and that didn't come out of my brain.
Okay.
So if she added that, would you want to okay this, or do you wanna look at it?
I'd like to wait for the next meeting.
Okay.
Well, this is everything we've talked about in the
Yeah,
past,
we have.
and we've already discussed it. I'm ready to sign it tonight with that change there, so that's my opinion.
I'd like to see it on the agenda for next meeting.
Make a motion for the board to adopt, meeting guidelines.
I'll second it.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed?
So I'll make that, I'll put that out.
Yeah. Want to stop the sign? Oh, no, because we're gonna have. All right, the next thing on the agenda is a non-public session under RSA 91A:3, Roman numeral 2, C, reputation.
Mr. Chairman, may I say one thing? The beginning of the public comment, I used about 5 minutes. I think there's a few minutes left. I just got 2 questions, if I may. One is the project the size of what you're talking about at Manahan. Don't you think that, you don't have to answer me, but I think that should go before the townspeople at a town meeting. And if you get grant money, I believe, in order to expend that grant money, it has to be approved. And it's about time to take the COVID.
Yeah, they're not that easy to get off. We need a,
Make a motion to go into non-public session under RSA 91A:3, Roman numeral 2, C, reputation. Do I have a second?
Second it.
All, vote. Roll call.
Yes.
Yes.
I don't,